welcome to this very short demo of our IBCS Process Mining report for Power BI. Today I want to show you the different pages that are included within our template. So we will jump right into our report, and I will tell you a little bit about the demo that we have, and then we go through all the different pages that are part of this template and show you what kind of information is on it and how to get to it. So about the data, the dataset is an order-to-cash process from a fictional company that is doing machine assembly. We have additional information about different plants, about different products. And the first part is, or the first page is the KPI page, where we have all the different key performance indicators and process performance indicators for different type of views. So we have different scoring type views. We see that currently we're looking at the average. We can have it in the finance view, operations, standard. All of these can be changed. We have different accumulations. So if you want to have year to date or rolling averages or whatever that we want to have. The scoring page always contains of 9 different scoring points, and each category can have points from 0 to 100, and they have a weight for each scoring type. So the total that you have in your scoring type can also be 100. So 100 is the best, 0 is the worst. Looking at the standard type, we see that we have weights for process cost, duration, and number of activities, and counter variance being the highest. Loops and stuff that are going to be lower. Automation rate is something that we don't really care about, so it's only 1 point. For example, if you look at finance, we see that the process cost, of course, is much more important. So it's taking up 50% of the total weight. Operations, they care about the average of durations that the process is performed in. And standard, we see the activities, variance, costs, and durations, they have all the same count. And that's the standard types that have been set up, but they can always be changed. So jumping back to the average, we see that for our data here, the total score that we achieved is 62. So it's okay, but it's not very good. It's not the best that we can have. What we are only looking at cases that have been completed in the time frame. We see that we can also change this. It's all information that has been automatically included into the report and can be used when working with the template. All right. Like I said, because we have information about plants, products, we also have these scorings per plant. We have it per product. Of course, we can have it per whatever category you want to include into your reports. And let's say we want to look at the plant health first, because this is the one with the worst score. We can select it here. So if we drill through 2 different pages, so let's say we drill through to the details page, we see that we are now only looking at everything that has the TELFs plant, or that has been performed in the TELFs plant. I mean, it's only 9 cases, so might be not the best thing, but of course we can jump to different pages with filters from the first page and just look at the cases from the specific plant, the specific year, whatever that we care about. I will reset this page, and then we also stay on this page so that we can have a look at what is included on the first process analysis page, the details page. This is where we want to go after we found the first main problems in process by looking at the PPIs, looking at the scores and everything that we've looked at there. So we have the standard process analyzer on this page, set up with frequencies, average durations. If we like, we also have activity durations on here. And we have some information about reworks here, different costs. In this case, we've set it up with cases per plant, cases per product. Of course, this is information that you will set up depending on what you have within your process. And then the cases per variant. So we see that this variant here with 735 cases is the most frequent. And then this one here, the second most frequent in there. What we also have on this page is our process assistant, because if we start with anything here, people want to maybe ask questions about the data and know something about the longest cases, or show me the longest running cases. So I want to ask this question and then have the information being shown in the site here. So now it has returned the cases that are running the longest. Because we didn't say anything else, it just took the top 10 cases out of the data. We see we have 50 days, 57, 65 days. So cases with very long run times indeed. Jumping to the next page, this is our rework page. And what we have here is information about process, reworks, loops, self-loops. So everything that we were able to pre-calculate by going through the data of the event log itself without looking at any additional data that has been added to the report. Having the difference in loops, only showing cases with real loops. So something where we have stuff like this, where we have shipment, return, maintenance, and it goes back to shipment again, where we have this real loop. Also, we have self loops, so cases where an activity has been followed by the same activity directly again. So call of confirmation has been followed by call of confirmation. These are our self loops. Difference in how many loops or cases with loops, either loop or self loop. And we see that when we have loops, it takes up to 31 days. When we don't have loops, it's around 15 days, so double the time if we are encountering loops within our process. We can also look at this per case ID. We can look at this per variant, or look at this per activity. So we see that shipment, maintenance, return, these are the ones with most of the loops. Also, we see on the right side here. The loop count itself stays pretty much same. If we look at the trend line over the last 4 years. Of course, here the end. What we also have on this page is our events filter. So if we want to look at specific processes, we can use this one and create filters based on a BPMN level. So let's say we want to see everything that has inquiry as first activity. We drag it in, say inquiry should be the first one. And then we want to see everything with a shipment afterwards. And if it has a shipment, it should also have a maintenance. Of course, yeah, that's not working. So maintenance anywhere afterwards, or we want to have, or we don't want to have a invoice, for example. So we can do it like this. So okay, it should be inquiry first, then we have shipment, and then we either have maintenance or we don't have an invoice. Yeah, that can be one way of setting it up. So now we are only looking at cases with either maintenance or invoice. Of course, it will also show invoice then, because here can be an invoice followed afterwards. But get the point, creating filters on a BPMN level, you can build it as complex as you like. So having them in here, or putting multiple levels there, so everything is possible. You can also have parallel gateways. So this has to be executed, this, and this. If you want to look for parallel activities here. Jumping to the next page. This is the automation page. In general, as you see, because this is our IBCS report, everything is without many colors, and we've tried to bring in as much information as possible. And like getting everything built up as it will be built up in the IBCS. For the automation page to work, you will need to have some sort of information within your event log if an activity has been automated or not. So it's just a flag telling, yeah, this activity in this case has been automated. We see that then we have automation rates on all the activities. We have the average costs. We see the cost for activities has been manually performed, and what if also for automation here. Automation rate classes. This demo process here is automated pretty well, almost 60% in total. And same, we can look at only the ones that have been completed in the time frame. So completed in whatever October 2021. Then this one can be filtered, or these can be filtered using the same logic here. Like I said, this is always also part of the standard template, so no need for you to build it up yourself. Next up, benchmarks. So you want to compare your processes based on any kind of information that you have in your data. Let's say what we want to do is we want to compare everything that has been completed in December last year to December 2021, so the year before. Then this will be the way to go. Comparing these two processes, we see all the scores, the process performance indicators, the scores that we set up on the first page. So what stands out is Pareto rate and manual work rate have been very bad here. We've definitely increased that by a lot. So of course, comparing based on this, but everything else that you have in your report, you can just add up here and use it as well in the benchmarking. So next up, the lead times page. Everything here has been set up to look at lead times for either start to end or more from a specific activity, another activity that are not directly followed, so only for a sub-process. Because, looking at the average lead time here, the 31 days is from start to end, but I think we might want to only look for the time from the order to the shipment, or from order to invoice. So that might be something that we care about. Let me just reset the page here before, so that we have all the cases and not only the ones that were filtered before. So if we want to look at that, that's our lead time analyzer here. And let's, for example, do exactly this. So we say we care about thing from order to invoice. And we will see that, this one will calculate everything from the first occurrence to order to the last occurrence of invoice. You can always change that. Say you don't care about activities that have been performed multiple times. So last order to first invoice, but currently it's been set up to first order to last invoice, and this will take up 1 week, 6 days. Different to the whole duration from start to end. What we also get is the different groups for how many cases we have per duration group. You see we have 2 groups of 1 week. This is due to we have 1 week with 2 days and 2 days, 3 hours, and then 11 hours is just because how it has been set up, how these groups are being created. And that's why we have 2 groups with 1 week each as the main or highest grouping category. Next up, the variance or case page. This is page set up to have a closer look at all the variants or cases that we have, look at the information that we have per activity, per case. The events filter I've shown on a previous page. The one on the bottom, this one is the variance or case analyzer that has been set up at this point with additional information about resources. So we see which resource performed which activity per case, and not on a variant level, not on a group level. It's really per case. So if we create a filter on the first page, for example, do this and say we care about only TELFs, because we saw that we had only some cases there, and we go to the variance case, we can see, 9 cases have been selected, and all these 9 cases we can now have a look at with the different resources per activity per case. So not on the group level, like I said, really looking at all the different stuff here. And what we then might encounter is activities that have been performed by the same person, the same group. So going into problems in segregation of duties, that's something that will be shown here. It can be analyzed here. Of course, it's also possible to create filters based on these rows here. So selecting the case behind that one. And then on the last page, we have the conformance page. So we have the target process set up that has been included into the data model, coming out of a BPMN system, coming out of the data model itself, coming from the processes that we have loaded, and saying some of the is data should be the target model data. In our case here, we have the variant 0 and 1, so the 2 most common ones set as the 2 target processes. And we see if we show more variants, so more activities, we see every activity deviating from this, every edge deviating is displayed in a different color. This, of course, being the one side of it, so showing the differences, but also creating filters on this static target process can be created. So everything that is excluding from the target process should be selected. And then these are the 922 cases that are deviating from our target process at any point. This can be combined with the benchmarking page to really show you, okay, what is or show me the ones that are running only through, so like the target process on the left side, deviating from the right side, looking at the differences in the PPIs. And yeah, this target process can be changed in the background in the data model, different to the events filter, which can be dynamically changed in the UI by users at any point. This one needs to be set up, like I said, in the background. Can write back stuff into it, but yeah, it's always then going to be a change in the data model for any person in the organization or working with this data set, different to the events filter being just in the current session. All right, yeah, like I said, I just wanted to have a very short demo of this template, of this report. We will also have sessions looking at some other templates. And like always, if you have questions, if you want to try it out, just get in touch with us, and we are happy to provide you with trial licenses to really test everything that we've shown today. Thank you very much, and until next time.